And welcome back to Community Conversations. I am wearing flannel, which means it must be September, which means this fall Concord has a lot of exciting things coming up, including an event coming up called the New Hampshire Book Festival, which I've brought 3 experts here who are going to tell me all about this inaugural event.
Thank you. It's really fun to be here, Josh. I'm Emilie Christie Burack, and I am a co-founder and the president of the New Hampshire Book Festival.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm Sarah Crow, and I am a co-founder with Emilie of the Book Festival, as well as chairman of the board of the Book Festival.
Okay, and last but not least.
Hi, Josh. I'm Kate Schoedinger. I'm a reading specialist in Bedford and a board member of the Book Festival.
So let's start with what goes into starting your own festival. It sounds very intimidating to me, and the way you guys have described it off camera, you've made it sound relatively simple. Was it what went into putting all this together? You guys seem like you have it all together.
Yeah. Well, I'm so glad it looks like that, Josh. For any inaugural event, there's a lot of work. But anyway, Sarah and I are both authors, and we're very good friends, and we used to meet together and write at Gibson's bookstore and in the cafe. And for years, we have been saying, oh, if only New Hampshire had a book festival, because every other state of New England has one, and
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And we always thought it was pretty awesome to be, that for a book festival to be between Gibson's and the Capitol Center, just because that part of Main Street in Concord is the Arts Center. Yep. And a lot of book festivals, the venues are scattered all over a city, and you don't get that community feel. But Concord's so different because we have this one space with all these different places where we can meet with authors and all that kind of thing. And we just kept thinking, this is perfect, this is perfect. But and then eventually,
but for many years we were like, I wish someone would start a book festival. And then finally one day Emilie said, I think we should start a book festival. And I said, really? And then a minute later, we were like planning a book festival, and that was about a year ago. And pretty soon after, we got a 501c3 going and found a board and started raising some money. And
okay, so now that we've established how you start a festival, for anyone who wants to start a festival out there,
go to Gibson's.
Start at Gibson's.
Start at Gibson's.
That's where it'll start from. But tell us a little bit about, and this is for anyone who wants to answer, about what we can look forward to coming up October 4th and 5th.
many book festivals they're either just for adults or they're just for kids. But our book festival has things for adults and kids. So it's something for all ages. We have some amazing keynote events that are bookending the festival, and these are ticketed events. For kids on Friday, school kids, there's a event with Kate DiCamillo, who is the only 2-time Newbery Award winning author. So she's going to be presenting. And then Friday night we have an adult keynote at 7 p.m. at the Capitol Center. The literary thriller writer Jean Hanff Korwitz, and she will talk about her new book. We can talk more about this in a minute, but this is her new book, the sequel.
Now, that's Friday. How about the Saturday keynote?
On Saturday, again, we have beloved Kate DiCamillo for an afternoon talk about The Magician's Elephant and how she's gone page to screen.
Make sure you hold it up right to the camera right up in front of you. Yeah,
all right.
There we go. So everyone can see the cover and
Yeah. And that'll be wonderful because she'll be talking about the whole process, which was new to her, about getting Magician's Elephant on Netflix. So we're thrilled to have her back again on Saturday.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, I'm assuming a lot of these books are available at our local independent bookstore, that you can find copies of these books.
Oh, yeah. Not only that, Josh, all of the titles of that the authors are bringing to New Hampshire are all 2024 brand new titles. So those are all the authors that are coming have something brand new. And we're going to have a 30 by 90 foot tent selling all of those books. that you can get autographed and signed and personalized by the authors.
So these are some of your first chances to hear about these new releases
Yeah, for
before
instance,
anywhere else. Yep.
this book right here, Hotel Balzar, comes out just 2 days before the book festival. And this is the book that we have an amazing foundation called the Judge Family Foundation, who's given us a grant to make sure that every child that comes to this school event, and we have 1,300 kids coming, will go home with their very own copy of the book that's signed by Kate DiCamillo.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very impressive. And I couldn't help but notice that you guys have lined up to have Laura Canoy as one of your moderators. She's a friend of Concord TV, and she's terrific. So just wanted to give her a little shout out and plug for during the keynotes. What's the process like, kind of as you were reaching out to authors to see if they were interested? It's an inaugural event, but you clearly were able to get a terrific lineup for panels and keynotes. What was that process like?
Well, I think we can safely say it was a long process. It's actually, there's a lot of give and take because there's some authors who are applying to a festival. Like we had an application form people could send in, and then we were reaching out to authors to try to create conversations and fill panels and have a range of authors, a range of kids authors, a range of adult authors, and genres.
Okay.
So
And
it's
it's
a
a-
process.
And it's a bit like setting the tables for a wedding. You have a panel, you need to have an author with a book that works with the other authors' books on the panel, but also that's coming out, in 2024. So it's a dance.
Bit of a puzzle
Yeah.
to figure out. But we ended up with 20 authors for the kidlit side and 20 authors for the adult side. So it's such a celebration of books and literature all day on Saturday, free 10 to 6.
Free 10 to 6, yeah. Yeah, and that in the village, in the book festival village, which is going to be a part of Main Street closed down, I think you said
Right.
roughly
Yeah.
from the Cap Center to
to
Gibson's.
the other end
Yeah.
of Gibson's, yeah. And I'm glad you brought that up because when we were talking about all the keynotes, what we wanted to everyone in Concord to really know about is this free to the public festival. The keynotes, the tickets that we sell for those fund all of these, actually 50 total authors coming from all over the country for free panels all day long and book signings. And those are
That's-
going to be really exciting. Everywhere from like fantasy to literary fiction to graphic novelists to picture books.
Debuts.
So find your genre and
Right.
it'll be
Yes.
there. And then it's also worth mentioning to people that the parking garages are free on Saturdays. So a lot of people think they still have to pay for parking, which you do if you pay on some of the streets. But there's a garage right there behind Red River Theaters, right across the street. That's free on Saturdays.
That's
So
right.
Yeah.
I wanted to mention that.
And
to
we'll have
folks.
food trucks and beverages.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, lots of entertainment all day. So come and stay for the day. And it's so fun for kids and adults to meet these authors that they're familiar with, that they're read their books and want to get their latest book, and just get a chance to meet them and have an autograph session with them and enjoy the day.
Who knows? You might even find a new favorite author along
Right.
the way, too. Right?
It's hard to resist after you hear someone live, I think. You think, oh, that's so interesting, I've got to read the book.
Well, it's the same way with music, right? When you hear a band
You're
live,
right.
you go, I need to look them up. Same thing with you hear from an author, and especially if you learn about their process. It's just really fascinating. It makes you want to learn more.
Right.
So, and then there's also, I saw a poetry salon, which I don't know much about that other than seeing it on the schedule. What?
Well, so we were very excited to have acclaimed Irish poet Paul Muldoon coming, and he will read on Saturday morning. And so I would say the poetry track is sort of a mini track. We don't have poetry all day, but we have a morning session with Paul Muldoon, and he will be introduced by Jennifer Militello, who is the New Hampshire Poet Laureate. And then in the afternoon, we will have a reading and poetry panel with some really more acclaimed poets.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really great to hear. So, what would you say to folks just to, encourage them to come check this out, even if maybe if they don't have a favorite author or they're kind of just looking for something to do for the weekend? What else? What are some other little plugs or pitches? Food trucks is definitely a good pitch for sure, but are there other things that we haven't mentioned that?
Well,
is
there's
another
like an
good pitch?
intangible thing. Book festivals are incredibly joyful community occasions. And oftentimes I'll say, oh, we're having New Hampshire Book Festival. If you haven't been to one, people look at you like, is that like the Scholastic Book Fair that we used to have in the cafeteria in middle school?
Yep.
But it's not. A book festival is, it's really just a community coming together and learning about the joy of story. And what we've all found, because we've all been to different book festivals, is you meet so many amazing people from all over the country who are coming because they're interested in some authors, but they're eager to learn about others. And what everyone has in common is they love a good story. And so even waiting in line at a book festival, I've met some amazing people.
Yep.
There are sort of book festival groupies that travel around the country at all the book festivals and things. So it's a very uniquely joyful, uplifting occasion, and I think that's another reason why we wanted to bring that to Concord.
And it's casual. I mean, it is all day, but it's fine till you can wander
Drop in.
into a panel.
Right.
If it's not your thing, you wander back out, go check out something else. It's easy and fun.
Right, and like
Yeah.
you had said, something for everyone. That you've built quite the lineup that there's something for everyone.
It really is. We had the pleasure of being at the Fisher Cats game this week,
Oh, good.
along with one of our sponsors, Shaheen and Gordon. And we had a table set up with all of our posters and bookmarks and all these wonderful books that the authors have shared with us. And people came by so excited to take bookmarks, and people saying, oh, my spouse is such a great reader, I can't wait to do this. Oh, I live in Concord, I can come over to here. Oh, I just made my wife a bookcase, and I know she's going to want to come and spend a lot of money, and even though it's a free event, I know we'll be spending a lot of money. So Gibsons will be happy to hear that, and the authors too. And it's so nice too to have the authors come together to meet one another and to say, you know, I've got a book coming out in 2024, and they'll want to meet and share the books amongst themselves too. It's such a solitary event, writing, and this really brings the community together, and for them to have a chance to share their job and their work with kids and adults and their readers and their fans.
Yeah, and what you're describing and what this really entails, you know, Concord talks a lot about the creative economy, that Concord has a really strong creative economy. I know our chamber really values that, the Capital Center for the Arts values that, and these events we're bringing, like the book festival, like the new music festival that's coming, the Sound and Color Festival, we have a kids music festival that I think is the weekend before yours. So all of that is boosting our creative economy because it's selling books, it's promoting local musicians, it's promoting arts and culture in Concord. And it seems like Concord is the perfect place to do this. I'm biased. I'm biased. But,
we think so too, and Concord thinks so, and they're really behind us. They are supporting us financially with some of their grant money, and all of the city department heads have been meeting with us, and they're incredibly helpful. We're everything from the fire marshal to the parking people and the sign that goes over the street have been amazingly helpful. I mean, it's our first year, and we're so pleased to have the support of the city.
Is that the banner that goes up over Loudon Road or over South Main, maybe?
South Main.
Over South Main, yeah.
We don't have enough time in this program to tell you all of the amazing details it takes to get that banner up.
We've gone through that process before.
Oh, you have? Okay.
Getting it made and getting it put up at 4 in the morning. It's quite a process. But when you see it up there, you know, is it up there currently? I haven't driven through.
Well, that would be great, but we're still waiting. They have to schedule all that.
I lost track because there's, you know, different organizations that have it booked almost nonstop through the year. The Sunflower Bloom Fest just had their banner, so when yours is up there, that's going to be a great photo op, and
we're excited.
It's super exciting.
So we're thrilled to have Concord TV there.
We will be there.
They're filming keynotes and
some of the highlights
of the festival.
Yeah, it's important for Concord TV. It's like I mentioned, where Concord supports the creative economy. It's important for us to highlight all of that, and we're so lucky in New Hampshire that Concord gets all of these phenomenal events. So we're very fortunate. and glad to help for your inaugural event to help show people. I think if they miss it this year, which you shouldn't miss it this year, but if you did, that you will see, oh, that's what it was like.
Yeah.
And we can use footage from this year's festival to then show and prepare for next year and say, hey, here's what you have to look forward to.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
so we're fully on board with this.
Yeah, I mean, thank you so much. Concord TV's support has been fantastic. Great media sponsor, and we're very, very pleased with that too. So
well,
thanks.
thank you. Thanks for all your hard work.
Yeah.
And to remind folks, nhbookfestival.org is the website. It's super easy to navigate. It has the schedule. That's where I got this from. I printed out a copy of it and all kinds of information. We also wanted to mention volunteers. So before we wrap this episode up, give us an idea of what are some of the volunteer positions and how can folks learn more about those opportunities?
The website's easy to access, and there's a volunteer tab there, and you can click on that to get to Sign Up Genius and see which activity appeals to you the most, and we would love to have your help.
Yeah.
You can add to that.
All of our volunteers get a fantastic T-shirt and credential, and they help put on this fantastic event. And we really need our volunteers. A lot of people we still are looking for setup and takedown, but also for being greeters. No one's come to this event before, so we really need to have people that will welcome people and show them where to go. And also people that are working on the panels themselves, and that's a really fun volunteer job. We have people that time the events, some people that pass around the microphone for Q&A, that kind of stuff.
And the shifts are short.
Yeah.
You're not signing up for all day. It's just 2 or 3 hours. And so you can pick your time.
So just like the event itself, it's flexible. You can find, you could volunteer for a couple hours and then enjoy the rest of the festival.
Exactly.
In a non-volunteer position, and you get a T-shirt out of it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
With an awesome logo.
With an awesome logo.
And apples from Gould Hill Orchard donated.
That's right. you were
For the
telling me that.
volunteers,
Yeah.
yes. Volunteers and authors.
That's really nice.
So
of
really
them to do
nice.
that.
So we
Yeah.
really appreciate having some local fare from historic Gould Hill Orchard.
Good.
Very kind.
Yeah, very kind of them.
Very
for sure.
kind.
Is there anything else that we forgot to mention that you wouldn't want to walk out of here without mentioning, or a final plug?
One thing we would love to mention is we mentioned the support from the city, which has been incredible. Also from New Hampshire Humanities and Center for the Book, New Hampshire Center for the Book has been great. And our sponsors, we should not forget our sponsors.
The Judge Family Foundation been the children's sponsor, right?
Yeah.
We have Ledger Bank that we are so thankful for. When we had nothing, how do you even sell a thing that hasn't happened? And we went in and we talked to them about our plans, and they jumped in. They were very enthusiastic, and they came in as our presenting sponsor, which is just a huge thrill, and really put a lot of energy in our
Exactly,
momentum.
gave us a lot of momentum.
And it was from there on we were able to say, oh, well, Ledger is our presenting sponsor. And so people knew that this was going to be an okay event. So Grapponi has been a fantastic, they're our family sponsor. And then we have a whole lot of other sponsors that we hope people will see on our website and will see on signage at the event too.
Yeah, thank you to all the businesses for supporting
We're grateful.
supporting local. That's what it's all
Yes.
about.
It is.
It's exhilarating to see the little nugget of an idea that Emilie and Sarah had at Gibson's over coffee, working on their writing, to come to this fruition that's so exciting of this festival that's happening October 5th, 4th and 5th.
4th and 5th, and as of the recording of this episode, we're just a couple weeks away at this point, under a month.
Yeah.
So
Under a
month.
You're almost there, you guys.
Yeah.
And with the hard work of Gibson's Bookstore and the Capitol Center for the Arts, we are going to get there. It really does take a team.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does, for sure. Well, thank you so much for coming in and telling us about this new event for New Hampshire. We're joining in the rest of New England in having a book festival, which I love. And just wish you the best of luck with this event. We will see you
so
there,
much.
and you have Concord TV in your corner, so we're
All
excited.
right.
Thanks,
Thank
Josh.
you. Thank
really
you, Josh.
fun.
So
See you
thanks.
there.
We'll see you there,
Yeah.
and we hope to see you there as well. And thanks for tuning into Community Conversations. We have some other episodes coming up this month that we hope you'll check out. And we hope to see you downtown October 4th and 5th. Until next time, thanks for watching.